Alright, setting a timer for 30 minutes. Starting now. When that goes off, I have to go pick up my kid. I am going to try to demonstrate how to animate a helicopter without doing any actual animation. And I've shot a lovely plate here of a space where a helicopter would be capable of landing. So the first thing we're going to do is track this. That better go quick. Don't want to lose the whole video here. Get that mono analyzer. Most exciting part of any video is watching small progress bars increase. %35. Does anybody remember at the end of Speed 2 when they were shouting out the degrees that the boat was tipping over? That movie was crazy. 82. 90. All right, come on, big money. Boom. All right, we don't need a bird in here. And my solution got worse. Get them shorties out of here. $263, that looks fine to me. Let's define a plane. Yeah, it looks all right. Cool. Camera track is there. Now let's bring in a helicopter. I just got one off Turbo Squid, or I don't remember where I got it, but probably Turbo Squid. I'm bringing it as an alembic. I'm keeping the geometry unconsolidated. Group it all together. I always forget how to turn off the grid on here. Well, whatever. Be looking at that. So let's just see how our helicopter scale is. I guess it's fine. Well, it's a little small, but whatever. Bring in a texture. Helicopter texture. And then we don't need the back plate there. No, diffuse map, sorry. Now it's starting to look like a helicopter. Let's just make that kind of black. And what do we want to do next? IBL. So all I've got is this plate right here, which obviously isn't an IBL, but my thinking is I'm just going to fake it. So do a map convert, and I'm just going to do this actually doesn't matter, just for me checking cubic to cubic, so I can see sort of what's going to be the sky, what's going to be the ground, what's going to be the middle part. And I just I'm just going to freeze this frame because I like the last frame. Put a 2D transform on here. Scale it down. So then it's sort of got the middle. And if I set this to repeat last, we get, you know, an okay map convert. Sort of, you know, good enough. So I don't actually have to convert the map there because it's already pretending to be cubic. And I will just put an IBL on there. And then for the shader, I will link one shader to all the metal pieces and a second shader to the glass. So, make the glass shiny. Sure, subsurface it. I don't know, whatever. Looks fine. And for this stuff, I like that shiny too. Maybe make it a little metallic. Bring up the roughness a little bit. There you go. Now we got an incredibly realistic looking helicopter. So the first thing we want to do is get the rotor moving. And we can see the first problem is it's not spinning in the correct place. So let's go to the top view and put an axis below that one. Call it rotor spin. And we will move it in Z. Not rotate it in Z, rotate it in Y. There we go. That seems pretty good. But the whole point of this is that we don't animate anything. Also going to bring it up. Not that we're going to ever pivot this, but so animation we'd want to do on the rotor spin, the Y. Helicopter blades spin between 225 and 500 RPMs. So this is a 24 frame a second shot. Let's do 300. So 300 times 24 times 60 is 4,200. Oh wait, no, that's not how to do it. Sorry. Frame times 24 times 60. Wait, no. Frame times 24. Okay. Divided by 60. Right? Times 300. All right. I put 100. Now, just because this is an even number, I think it looks a little funky, so let's do 331, and this should give us a horrible strobing effect. But I bet if we put on motion blur, there you go. And to get the tail rotor to spin, tail rotors just spin at, generally speaking, a rate comparable to, Jesus Christ, all these pivots. I'm just going to move the actual pivot of this. No, why are you doing that? Okay, screw that. Tail rotor spin, when I looked it up, is about 3x the speed of a non-tail rotor. I'll have to look into why the glass is being weird like that. Ah. Alright, so back to tail spin. Clearly I got my pivot a little wrong. Perfect. So that will just be a function of the other spin. So this spin equals that spin times 3. So now we've animated all the blades, and we need the helicopter to land. So the first thing I want to do is put the helicopter on the actual ground, which it currently isn't. And to do that, put this pivot there. Now our helicopter is arguably on the ground. So what we want to do is we want to have it kind of go, just some sort of leafy helicopter-y type settle. So maybe a little roll in the air and stuff like that. So let's put another axis on here, because this is your sort of zero axis. And I want to just grab it above all that crap. And I want the pivot to be right under the rotor blades, because I think that's going to look nice. So set that there. So now if we, bring this up and we roll it, it sort of rolls in that way. Probably want to hang it even higher right on the... Yeah, so that feels helicopter-y to me. And so the first thing I want to do is just animate it to settle down, right? So I need to do this without actually animating anything. So what I'm going to do is I am going to draw a motion curve. And I'm going to say I want the helicopter to be like, woo. Right? And then I apply the motion curve Y. And because it isn't on 0, let's just move it up until it ends on 0. And so we can see a couple of things by my motion curve. It's a little funky. and it's going from way too far. So I'm going to hit space Y and just grab it at the end and scale it down so that we're only starting from about there. And then I am going to average this out a bit because I don't think we need all that noise. Here's the thing, I wonder if I can do this. Does space X work? Yeah. Just make this a little shorter because I sort of want it to land and then be done. So that's a sort of pretty nice looking down thing. I don't like the front of it though, so what I'm going to do is hit space X again, scale this back out a little bit, and then just move it all away. So we start in the mix. But I'd like a little more animation than that, so let's put some roll on this. So again, I'm just going to feel out like, all right, I want a little bit of roll, so I'm going to draw a motion curve, and I want it to kind of go like, and these sound effects are really one. So I'm just going to create a little looping roll animation there. And I'm going to apply motion curve Y, apply motion curve X. These are going to be way too much, which is fine. Just space Y to scale these way down. Got our orientations a little wonky, so let's move that up in Y until it's zeroed out. Move this up in Y until it's zeroed out. So now what have we got? It's a little wild. It's a little wild. So what we can do, again, was just space Y, chill it out quite a bit. And that little bit at the end I don't like, so let's just hit S. What do I do? Cut all that. And I'm just going to average this, take a little bit of the noise out of it. Cut off the tail of this. And then I'm just going to globally reposition the whole thing. Not on Y. And then I don't like where that's positioned. I also don't like that it's rolled. Why is it rolled? There we go. The Z channel was just a little miscalibrated. got 2 keyframes in my repo, don't I? Yep. There you go. 10 minutes to spare. Let's enjoy this. Now, the truth is, I think my helicopter scale is a little wonky, all sorts of nonsense like that. But there you go. That's how to animate a helicopter. Or, frankly, a lot of things using drawing motion curves, averaging them, scaling them, and sliding them around. I hope you enjoyed.